so anticlimactic. I was just thinking about how I have so many ideas all of the time. And I'm sure you do too. I truly believe that we're all creative individuals in one way or another. But I think the thing that makes creative people seem more creative is that they take action on those ideas. They decide to press play, press record. Maybe they come up with a script beforehand so they don't mess up their words all the time. But I have so many notebooks of yoga sequences and 6-week series and video ideas, and nothing ever becomes of it. And I really would like that to change. I really would like to just every single day take some time and create. I'm definitely one of those people that feels like in order to create, you must make a profit. You must have a career out of it. And it can be hard to just create for creation's sake. This is so beautiful. I hope it continues. Yes. I am someone that makes shifts very often. I am someone that is plagued by perfectionism, and I am plagued with wanting everything to be of the highest caliber all of the time. And so it stops me in my tracks. But then here's the crazy part. You know, I look back at the things that I've created, and you know, you look at the videos where the camera lens is like doing something weird, or the audio cuts out, or you know, the set is a little bit turned, and I still decided to post it. I still said, you know what, like I did the thing, I did the best I could. I tried to set myself up so that all of these elements were going to be perfect, but they weren't. They just weren't. And one day, if I continue down this path, I'm going to have a set with a camera and the lighting, and everything is going to be angled properly. Oh my gosh. I can't tell you how excited I am to have perfect angles and to have perfect lighting and to have my hair done and maybe my makeup done, and maybe I am also sleeping for more than 45 minutes to 3 hours at a time. You know, maybe one day all of the conditions are going to be met for me to have what I consider in my highest dreams the perfect setup. But until that point, I still have to do something, because I'm not going to get to that point unless I do the thing. I wasn't going to record today. I was coming in here and I was going to journal more ideas. I was going to work on the ideas that I always have, and I wasn't going to do anything about it. But something in me was like, girl, you gotta turn this camera on, you gotta press record, you need to do the thing, this is what you're supposed to be doing. If this is your first time here, I branded myself as Flow with Jess. And I haven't recorded any yoga content really since that branding. Yoga is a big part of my life, but I'm not in a stage where I am actively teaching or really practicing, to be honest. It comes in waves, and the cool thing is about yoga, the mat's always there for you. The movement's always there for you when you're ready to pick it up. And so I'm not worried that it's not going to be a part of my world. I'm planning to get back to it. And once again, I find myself in, you know, this Two of Swords situation where I have these choices and I'm stuck in the mind, and it's really hard for me to move in one direction because I have a blindfold on. And I feel like I'm just like stuck in this position, and I just don't know what to do. The choices are to move forward and put yoga classes on the schedule, or I just continue to not. But once again, I get myself in my head because I say, you're not practicing. You're not actively exploring your practice. So what are you going to bring to the table to support your students? And then I devalue myself. And I say that I don't have anything to offer because I'm not in the stage where I'm practicing all the time and I can get my body into all these beautiful shapes and I can do all of these arm balances and, you know, my cueing is perfect. Absolutely not. There's this beautiful and awful duality in this plane. And I wrestle with it every single day in like literally every aspect of my life. To be or not to be. To be or not to be. And so this channel is mostly me talking and working through all of these things, these mental things that are happening in my mind, and I'm trying to bring them to light and understand them through self-expression. I think it makes for an interesting time. I'm enjoying myself most of the time. I cry on camera a lot. Things get deep, things get intense. And I've had this card sitting on my desk for like so long. It's like all smushed. Jacob likes to play with my my cards. You know, I always say that tarot cards like haunt me, and I don't mean it in like a negative way, but like we see this guy, right? And so he is like the pinnacle of his suit, and cups have to do with emotionality. And so we can see that the water is like so wavy all around him, yeah? But like he's on a throne of stone and he's not touching the water. He has a chalice, a cup in his hand, and it's like he's harnessing it, but he is on solid ground. So even though all of these waves are happening in the background, he's not getting pushed and pulled with the different waves. And so I get pushed and pulled with the waves. And I'm trying to find the sense of grounding. I'm trying to find my stone throne while the waves are crashing all around me, but it just feels like I always get thrown overboard. And I think that there's a beauty in diving deep and, you know, being in the feels, but I'm trying to like harness this energy. You know, he has the fish around his neck, and you know, it's like wearing your heart on your sleeve, and I feel like as a highly sensitive, highly watery individual, I feel like I wear that on my sleeve. And you know, I had this conversation with a woman in my network, and you know, she was having a really tough time, and we just like instantly like zoned into one another, and we like touched arms, and she was just like, this is really, really hard. And I instantly just like connected in with her energy and felt all of the deep feelings that she was going through, and I felt it coursing through my body. And in that moment, I did my best to be like a strong support system in that moment. But there's other times where, like, you know, yesterday, if you listen to yesterday's video, like I had to just like let it out, you know? I had to let it out. There's times where just the waterworks come, and I just can't be this pillar of strength when the emotions are just like coursing through me, which is okay, you know? It's just energy to try to navigate, and like there's a time and a place for everything. And sometimes you don't have the reaction or the capability to navigate the energy in the way that you would ideally like to, but it's all a learning experience. And the cool thing is you get to reflect upon it and be like, oh, okay, like I kind of see what happened. I see where the overwhelm happened. I see where my nervous system was not regulated, or there was all of these other things going on that contributed to the overwhelming nature of what I was feeling. And my favorite thing about this channel and this experience is that I'm doing this for me. Like, I'm doing this as a diary for myself to see what it was like during certain times, what was the energy present. I have the moon cycle in every single title so that I can see exactly where the moon was. I can see what I'm wearing. I can see if I've had sleep. I can see that I can hear the tone of voice. I can hear the stories. I can see what's going on in my life, and I can make connections through the cycles of what's going on. And it's a really powerful experience. Like, I kind of feel like, you know, Charles Darwin or Jane Goodall. Like, I've thought of this as a observation, and you know, I write about my findings, right? Because when I have these moments where I'm deeply processing, or I'm in the middle of a super intense cycle, you know, I always get to the other side, and then I get to reflect back on it and be like, oh, okay. I see the lesson. I see what I was dealing with. Like, this past little bit, I have been navigating feelings of shame and being not good enough and comparison with others. I've also had a fear of stepping into the spotlight and stepping into like being a leader and a guide. And again, there's the comparison and the perfectionism and the judgment and the duality of all of the things that I'm trying to navigate. And so it got to me, and that's okay. I learned. I was just in the depths, man. Like, I was in the depths. It was really hard. I had a physical manifestation of all of those things happened to me, and I had to purge. I had to physically purge those feelings from my body in multiple ways. And then now I'm on the other side, and I'm feeling better, and my energy is starting to shift, and I can see what was happening, and I can see where I was, and I can see why these things were happening, and now I can draw conclusions, and I can shift and grow, and I can walk into the next cycle having navigated all of this energy. And I can say, okay, like, you just processed so much shame, and you went through a really intense phase of like comparing yourself to other people, and so you purged that, and now you get to step into this next stage and say, okay, like, let's get back on the track of where we were and what were we doing before that happened, before all of the fear and the shame and all of the shadow came in and like grabbed a hold of your heart and didn't want to let go. But like, now I'm releasing that, and I'm moving into this next stage, and I'm super excited because like I can now see where the seeds that I planted last cycle, the seeds that I planted that started to sprout, and then the sprouting, when I realized that the things were sprouting, I was like, oh gosh, like I'm scared because it's taken hold in my life. These things are now happening. Like the steps that I took, the intentions that I made are now coming to fruition, and it scared me. And that fear took hold. So then I had to go into the depths. I had to go into the underworld. I had to face my shadows. I had to just get through it. I had to release all of these things. And then now I'm on the other side, and I can be like, okay, we have some growth here. Now what are we going to do to tend? Because there are these life forms in my life that are now taking hold, and they're really good. And I can't let what happened in the depths, I can't let those fears overtake me in that same way. And I know they're going to be there. They're going to be back. Give it 4 more weeks, and we're going to be, releasing and processing something else, or something similar, or maybe the same thing in a different way. But like for right now, of the things that have taken hold, taken root in my life, how can I then take action to support their growth and development? And that's why we're here. That's why I'm recording this video, and that's why I'm on my 28th set. That's why we're trying things out, and we're learning and growing together. And I just wanted to say that if you are still here, I am very grateful for you. I'm very grateful that we have connected. And for anyone that has shown love and care, thank you. It's so lovely to know that people are holding space for my experience. And I'm very grateful for that. And I'm still working on finding another word to express my gratitude without using the word gratitude. But it still hasn't come to me yet. So I'll keep you updated on that, because I'm really looking forward to having a new word in my vocab to indicate gratitude, but not gratitude. So if you have any ideas, write them in the comments below, if you're feeling brave. And with that, my friends, take care of yourself, breathe, drink some water, and I'll see you in the next one.